All right, so here I am making another kind of sort of review, or not really a review, but an ownership experience uh, video about another Ozark trail bike. And this one's more unicorn-like than the G1 gravel bike and the M2 Ridge mountain bike. I was actually able to pick up a DJ1, which is the dirt jumper. Before I actually bought this one, I have never seen one of these in the wild. I've never seen one of these in person until this one, very fortunately for me, popped up on Facebook Marketplace. If you're not familiar with the Ozark Trail brand and you just stumbled onto this because it had Dirt Jumper in the title, Ozark Trail is the house brand for Wal Mart. And Bentonville, Arkansas is now the mountain bike capital of the country because the Waltons, grandkids, I guess, are big time mountain bikers and have invested heavily in tons of bike parks and bike trails and bike culture in the town of Bentonville. And also, I'm told that these younger Waltons have heavily influenced the managers at Wal Mart to improve their bike game, because they're way into mountain biking and they know that the store that they come from has handled kind of department store bikes, which have different, different marketing claims and different intent than maybe some bike store bikes. Well, for the last couple of years, Walmart has hugely stepped up the game, and they have, I believe it's Kent that makes these bikes for Walmart. They're legitimate, like entry-level bike store quality bikes that are being sold at a department store. And so they have the gravel bike, they have both a drop bar and a flat bar version. I have the flat bar version. It's absolutely awesome for $250. Unbelievable. They're all bike industry standard. You can modify them. You can change your crankset. You can change your wheel sets. You can change all of it. And so I had seen, so the DJ1, there's two bikes in the Walmart lineup that would only be custom ordered. You will not find them on the floor at the Walmart store. That's as of today's date, which is October of 25. That's obviously a dynamic situation. It's changing. But as of today, the DJ1 was only available to order online, and the FS2 Slalom, which is the full suspension mountain bike, to my knowledge, you can only order off the website. I had seen the DJ1. It's in my bicycle wish list on there just because I always watch it. And the reason why I have this is because I have been doing the pump track lately. I am not dirt jumping it. So full disclaimer, I have not taken this bike over any dirt jumps. So this is not a full review. I go to the pump track, and up until now, I've had these two BMX bikes that I take to the pump track, which has been absolutely awesome. But now that I'm leaving the ground on the pump track and I'm landing without any suspension, and I'm an older guy, 50 years old with a lot of injuries, a friend of mine let me ride his dirt jumper one day, and it was like a mobile sofa compared to a BMX bike. It was so forgiving and so plush that I started looking for a dirt jumper so that I could continue riding and trying to continue to progress without a lot of pain in my arms and wrists, and from old motocross injuries, which again, there's some of the old hardware from a former chapter of life. So I found this. These were normally $350 on the website. I got it for $200, and it has been awesome. Now, it came with the Suntar XCM30 fork, and that's the same fork that Rockhoppers and the Trek Marlin and the Ozark Trail M2 Ridge come with, but those come with a 29-inch version or a 27.5. The Dirt Jumper comes with the 26-inch version of that. And in truth, that 26-inch version was the best version of that Suntar XCM30 I've ever experienced. It did have adjustable compression, and at the pump track, I was able to crank down that damping or whatever it's doing in there, and it actually made that fork really stiff and pump trackable. But alas, I finally said, I still need an air fork that I can do a full lockout on. So I just ordered one of these low-cost Buckaloo Lilu forks, $135 on Amazon. This is the one that has adjustable rebound, adjustable compression, and it is an air fork. Now, is that going to be suitable for dirt jumping? Probably not, but again, the disclaimer here is I'm just running this on the pump track. So I'm only advising on it from that perspective. Other changes here. So I installed the front fork. When I bought the bike used, it came with really awesome pedals. These, what are they, Smith or some pedals. The bike comes with a 3-piece chromoly crankset, which is very BMX. That's awesome. I did change the seat to a GT BMX race seat, which is a 1-piece. It's not even a pivotal. It's a 1-piece molded. This weighs about 8 ounces, and that shaved a full pound off the bike. Changing the fork shaved 2.02 pounds off the bike. So when I got the bike, it was coming in around 29 pounds, and now it is 25.44 pounds, which is a really, really great weight for a bike like this. So very happy with the weight. It's a 6061 aluminum frame. Aluminum is known to be very stiff. A lot of dirt jumpers will come in 4130 or aluminum. It's kind of personal preference. A lot of people like the responsiveness of aluminum and the lightweight. Other people like the forgiveness of steel. And both of those are perfectly legitimate arguments. When I raced motocross, my RM250s and my KX250s, 2-strokes, were steel frame. When the CR250R came out in an aluminum frame, and even with 12 inches of suspension travel, that early CR used to toss guys off. You could not overjump a jump, you'd die. And that was also why Jeremy McGrath left Honda and went to Suzuki, is because that bike was so bad when it first came out with the aluminum frame. Of course, they've improved it since then, and aluminum is more common now. But aluminum is just stiffer. It doesn't bend, it breaks if it does anything. And normally it doesn't break. But steel has a lot more flex to it. And that can make for a much more comfortable ride. So consider that. That's an important factor. This bike came with this Tektro mechanical disc brake. My experience from the other Ozark Trail, where they put no-name brakes, mechanical brakes on them, is that mechanical brakes kind of stink. That's not the case. This Tektro is a very good brake. And so it's still on there. It stops the bike. I can lock up the back tire. It's wonderful. I have no plans to change it to hydraulic or make any changes there. They give you enough brake cable where you can do tail whips or bar spins, which I don't do, but you can do that at least once, if not maybe twice, before you start to get watered up on your brake cable. I did change the tires. It came with the Kenda knobbies, which are not great. They were kind of slowing it down for the pump track, so I put these Maxxis DTHs on it, which are a little fast rolling. I run them at about 65 most of the time. And so my pump track experience is I can get this bike to go almost as fast as my BMX park bike. Maybe a little slower, but gosh, it's so much smoother. I mean, it's just like a totally different experience. And then if I want to practice a fly out, which is like when you jump the berm and fly out of the track, or if I want to practice bunny hopping, then I can come down here to the fork I put on here and just give it a couple of turns. Now I've got some travel, and even if I pick up like just 40 millimeters of travel, it saves my arms and wrists. So I love it. Now this bike originally came in 2 colors. One was kind of a aqua blue-green dark color, and then this super bright color. It just has normal stickers on it. It's not silk screened or painted. So I did peel all the stickers off of it. That's not because I'm not proud of Ozark Trail. I am. It's just that they were already starting to peel. So I just peeled them off. So great bike. Highly recommend if you find one on Marketplace. Now, if you're a hardcore dirt jumper or something like that, you might, and you have money to invest at a higher level, like a substantially higher level, like a GT La Bamba, or maybe a Pivot Point, or Trick Shot 2 by Propane, or the Haro Steel Reserve. I mean, there's several bikes in this dirt jumper category that are worth considering, especially if you can find them used. Sometimes you can find a smoking deal used, and they're tough bikes, so you're probably going to get something good. I bought this one used. Again, I got $200 in the bike, $135 in the fork, $80 in the tires. I paid $33 for the seat. So we'll say I got $400 in it, and I am happy as I can be. You might be able to find a better deal with all that stuff done that comes with a Manitou Circus fork for $400 or $500. So something to consider there. But for what I'm doing on the pump track, it's an amazing machine. One downside I will talk about, I started getting a lot of noise in the rear end. Well, first of all, one downside is for the pump track, the XCM30 fork in the front is very clanky. It's very heavy. But for dirt jumping, that thing would be bulletproof, and I think you'd be fine. Unless you wanted to actually upgrade the fork to at least a Manitou Circus or maybe a Pike, or some, if you could find a used fork. That XCM30 for dirt jumping is going to be great. For pump track, I'm really happy to change it over to a cheaper air fork, just so I have a lockout, I have adjustable rebound and compression, and it's much more tunable. And again, I shaved 2 pounds off the bike. So for me, this worked out a lot better at a really good price. The one thing that I was surprised is I started getting a lot of noise out of the back end, and I finally figured out it's because my spokes loosened up. All of my spokes were loose as a goose. So I used the zip tie trick as a wheel truing and put this in my bike frame stand, and I was able to re-true the wheel on the bike. But on a pump track, man, you're really putting a lot of downforce into the back tire. And I think it caused all the spokes to loosen up, because I checked them when I got it and they were good. So I'm just going to say, certainly on the back wheel, the front wheel's always been good. Make sure you check your spokes. But outside of that, I have not seen a lot of reviews on this, and I think it's awesome. And now I will scan, and if I can get another good deal on one, if they're floating around. These are not the factory bars. The guy that had it before me put more standard bars instead of the riser bars it comes with. I like these. I've actually measured it, and the geometry is almost exactly the same with my BMX bike, so it's easy for me to go back and forth between them. And so I'm proud of the bike. I love the bike. If you see one out there and get a smoking deal on it, and you're not a total dirt jumper snob, this is a great entry point into dirt jumping. So there you have it. Have a good rest of your day.